I'm proud of them. That's nerve-wracking, getting up in front of a bunch of people and having to hit a golf club. Obviously, we're basketball players, so we're not very good at this, but they make this event fun, so it's fun to have them out here.
And what has it been like for you today?
LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one.
Look, first things first, I gotta ask you about your teammates' performance out there.
Making the turn in this Wednesday Pro-Am, here is Caitlin at the 10th.
So, it looked like just another celebrity golf outing, right? Just a fun promo event, a chance for athletes to kinda unwind. But here's the thing, when Caitlin Clark stepped onto that green for the LPGA program, she wasn't just taking a swing with a golf club. No, she was swinging a wrecking ball straight through the established order of women's sports. Because behind all those smiles and casual clothes, a deal was being finalized, and that deal, it's about to send shockwaves through the WNBA. It's gonna expose a growing civil war and leave one of the league's most decorated champions feeling totally sidelined. Now this whole story, it's really about one player's unbelievable marketability, creating a total crisis of identity. It's pitting legacy against leverage, and it's making everyone ask one brutal question. In today's sports world, what's really more valuable? Championship rings or viral headlines? Listen, the announcement didn't just land quietly, it was a digital explosion. Caitlin Clark, that rookie sensation, she just inked a multi-million-dollar sponsorship deal with the LPGA Tour. This wasn't just some simple endorsement, you know, where an athlete slaps their name on a product. No, this was a full-scale partnership, a strategic fusion of her entire image with a whole other sport. She became like a de facto ambassador for golf itself, and the internet, as it always does, instantly erupted. Fans were ecstatic, brands were celebrating.
This video, how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on television. And that was great. Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world.
Caitlin Clark's so good, she's got me following golf. And thanks to her, I now know who Nelly Korda is. And if there's one thing we can count on with Clark, it's that she's going to draw a crowd from the court to...
But back in the WNBA's inner circles, a totally different kind of energy was crackling. It was a mix of awe, sure, but also some serious resentment and just sheer disbelief. This was a level of cross-sport dominance you rarely see, especially for a player who hadn't even finished her first professional season yet. Think about the magnitude of that. Legends across sports. Yeah, they've dabbled in other arenas, but a rookie commanding a multi-million-dollar commitment from a rival league, all while actively playing, that's almost unheard of. The deal was a statement, loud and clear. It was heard from corporate boardrooms all the way to the locker rooms. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a basketball player, she was a multimedia empire. In her territory, it was expanding into totally uncharted waters. On top of that, the timing couldn't have been more symbolically charged. So while the WNBA season was deep in its final grueling stretches, with teams battling for playoff spots and legacy-defining championships, the main talk wasn't about a game winner or a big defensive play. Nope. It was all about Clark swinging on the golf course. This really highlighted a brutal new reality for the league's veterans. Their traditional sport calendar, it was being completely overshadowed by the non-stop 24/7 news cycle of the Caitlin Clark business enterprise. It showed this huge disconnect between what you do on the court and how marketable you are off it, especially in today's media world. I mean, one social media post can sometimes get more engagement than a whole playoff series. This created a stark contrast, almost like a tale of two queens ruling very different worlds. On one side, you've got A'ja Wilson. Her name just is dominance. She's a force of nature, meticulously building her legacy brick by brick. A champion, multiple-time MVP, she's defined her team, her era, with that polished, powerful post-game that commands respect. Her resume, it's all about proven, relentless success. She truly embodies the WNBA's growth. She's maximized every ounce of her potential. By every traditional metric, she's the queen of the court, validated by stats, trophies, and the unwavering respect of her peers. And then there's Caitlin Clark. Her on-court talent, undeniable. A revolutionary shooter with vision that defies logic. She pulls up from distances that used to seem impossible. But her true power, that seismic force making corporations and other sports leagues line up with checkbooks open, it's elsewhere. It's in that intangible public perception. She's the undisputed queen of commerce. Her jerseys don't just sell, they shatter sales records in minutes, becoming cultural artifacts. Her games, whether they're preseason or crucial regular season, they draw astronomical ratings, even rivaling men's sports. Broadcast executives are thrilled. She has that elusive, almost mythical it factor. It transcends the sport itself. It's a combo of audacious skill, a relatable personality, and that compelling narrative arc from Iowa superstar to national phenomenon. For brands, she's not just an athlete, she's a direct pipeline to a huge, engaged young audience. An audience that's been so hard to reach through traditional sports marketing. This dichotomy, it's the heart of the conflict. It's that age-old battle between earned respect and given attention, the grind of the gym versus the power of the platform. And it's playing out in real time on social media feeds and in corporate boardrooms. The soul of a league, it's hanging in the balance. The tension had been simmering for months, whispered conversations, subtle side-eyes during press conferences. But it couldn't stay behind closed doors. Shortly after that LPGA news dropped, A'ja Wilson, the Las Vegas Aces superstar and face of the league, she took to Twitter. That's the modern-day Coliseum for public opinion, right? She didn't name names. She didn't have to. Her message was a masterclass in subtle, sharp shade. A few carefully chosen words that launched 1,000 think pieces. She basically said, so you can make money playing golf even if you miss shots. The subtext, it was definite, a clear jab at the pro-am nature of the event, where presence is more important than performance. Every single person who saw it knew exactly who and what she was talking about. It was a targeted strike disguised as a casual observation. In that one sentence, Wilson gave a powerful voice to the silent frustration. It was simmering among many veteran players. They felt the same way, but maybe they didn't have the platform or the audacity to say. It was like a battle cry from an established warrior watching a new conqueror claim lands they didn't even know were up for grabs. Lands like golf, that exist totally outside their defined world of basketball. This wasn't just about golf either. This was about a perceived unfairness in how spoils were distributed, a breakdown in the understood order of things. Wilson was wrapping up another spectacular MVP caliber season. She was putting up historic numbers, leading her team. Yet the media cycle was dominated by Clark's activities outside of basketball. The feeling was clear and profoundly frustrating. Why are we grinding for championships, sacrificing our bodies through this long season, when someone else is getting generational wealth and front-page headlines just for existing in the public eye and doing a leisure activity? That sentiment cuts right to the core of what many athletes believe they're working for. It challenges the fundamental connection between performance and reward. So why Clark? What's the secret sauce that's caused such a seismic shift in the market? It's like it's upending decades of established sports marketing logic. Well, it's a perfect storm of factors. They align perfectly with the rhythms and demands of this digital age. It makes her a case study in modern fame. Her college career, it wasn't just successful, it was record-shattering, must-see TV, a weekly highlight factory that broke viewership records for women's basketball. She played with a flash and confidence that just drew viewers in, making every possession feel like it could be a moment of history. But beyond the stats and those deep threes, she has this relatable, Midwestern authenticity. It resonates deeply with fans. She doesn't have that aloofness of a distant superstar. Instead, she has the grounded energy of someone you might know. She looks like the girl next door who also happens to be a basketball savant. And that duality, it's incredibly powerful for brand integration. This combination is catnip for marketers. They're desperate for authentic connections with consumers. Plus, she arrived at the precise moment when the infrastructure for women's sports media and fandom was mature enough to amplify a star of her magnitude. The algorithms of YouTube and TikTok, they love her highlight reel shots. They're perfectly suited for short-form viral content. Sports talk shows thrive on the debate and conversation she generates. It provides endless hours of content. She is in essence the algorithm's MVP, a player whose style and story are optimized for the platforms that dictate modern culture. Corporations aren't just paying for her athletic ability, they're paying for access to her millions of loyal followers, for the guaranteed media coverage her every move generates, and for the cultural relevance she brings to any brand associated with her. It's transforming traditional endorsements into strategic investments in youth and engagement. Now, to truly understand the depth of the anger, you have to genuinely step into the shoes of A'ja Wilson and her peers. See the world through their eyes. These are athletes who spent years, sometimes entire decades, sacrificing, pushing their bodies to the limit, advocating tirelessly to build the WNBA from a niche league into a mainstream entity. They fought through grueling travel, fought for better pay and benefits. They fought for every sliver of the spotlight in a crowded sports landscape. They've delivered on the court, winning titles, putting on breathtaking displays of skill that have slowly but surely changed public perception. From their perspective, they've done everything right. They've earned their status through blood, sweat, and tears, through trophies and hard-won respect. And then, seemingly overnight, a rookie arrives, and the entire narrative of the league shifts. It pivots on a single axis, the media coverage they fought so hard for. It becomes disproportionately focused on one individual, often at the expense of other compelling stories. The sponsorship dollars, once a hard-fought collective battle, representing a shared victory, now they seem to be funneling disproportionately to one person. It creates a new economic hierarchy within the league. It creates a profound feeling of being a background character in your own story, a supporting actor in the Caitlin Clark show. Imagine the psychological whiplash of winning a championship, the ultimate goal in team sports, and finding the lead story on major sports platforms is about your rival's Instagram post or their new golf deal. That's the disorienting reality these veterans are experiencing. It's not necessarily that they dislike Caitlin Clark as a person, or even resent her talent. It's that the system rewarding her so lavishly feels like it's simultaneously devaluing their own immense legacy-defining contributions to the sport they helped build. This internal conflict puts the WNBA league office in an incredibly difficult, almost paradoxical position. It forces them to walk a public relations tightrope. On one hand, Caitlin Clark is the single biggest business opportunity the league has ever seen, a once-in-a-generation talent whose impact is both immediate and measurable. Her effect on ratings skyrocketed. Ticket sales, unprecedented demand. Merchandise revenue, undeniable, quantifiable. It would be commercial malpractice for any business not to leverage that kind of popularity and economic windfall. The Clark effect is very real, and it's bringing in new fans, new media partners, and new money the league has desperately needed for years. But on the other hand, a sports league can't thrive long-term on the back of just one star, no matter how brilliant. It's a team sport, it's built on the collective talent, drama, and rivalries of all its players. If the league, through its marketing arm or media partners, is seen as overly favoring one player, it risks alienating the other superstars, the ones who are the bedrock of the competition, the players who ensure the product on the court remains compelling night after night. So the PR challenge is monumental. How do you promote your golden goose, your biggest asset, without making the rest of your flock feel like they're just support staff, mere extras in a one-woman show? The current strategy seems to be one of opportunistic momentum, just riding the wave of Clark mania and hoping that the rising tide of attention and revenue lifts all boats. But the public, frustrated reactions from established stars like Wilson, they suggest that, so far, some of those boats are feeling left behind. They're watching the water rise around them, but not feeling the lift, and that could create a potentially toxic atmosphere in locker rooms and on the court. It could undermine the very unity the league needs to sustain this growth. Amidst all this noise, this cacophony of hot takes, fan debates, and viral tweets, there's one powerful, consistent sound that cuts through everything: silence. Caitlin Clark silent. Throughout this entire saga, the pointed tweets, the endless think pieces, the bitter fan wars, Clark has never once publicly clapped back. She hasn't acknowledged the drama. She hasn't given a single interview to address the controversy or defend her marketability. Her strategy is quiet, relentless professionalism, a disciplined focus that's remarkable for someone her age and exposure. She shows up, she plays through physical defensive schemes designed to stop her, and she lets her business team quietly and efficiently stack deals in the background. This silence? It's arguably her most brilliant and powerful strategy, a weapon her detractors have no counter for. In the world of public relations and brand management, she's an absolute dream client. She creates no negative headlines, gives no divisive sound bites to her detractors, and presents a flawless, focused, and unbothered image to current and prospective sponsors. Every time a veteran player fires off a frustrated tweet, it inadvertently fuels the Clark narrative, the narrative of the unbothered, business-focused prodigy who is above the fray. Her refusal to engage in social media beef makes her appear more mature, more focused on her craft, and ultimately, more valuable and stable. While others are getting caught in Twitter beef that can scare off corporate partners, she's quietly signing another seven-figure contract. That silent, steadfast focus, the ability to monetize the controversy without ever uttering a word about it, is more painful and frustrating to her detractors than any trash talk could ever be. So what does all this lead to? The WNBA is now at a critical crossroads. One path, it leads to a fractured league, a house divided between Team Clark and Team Wilson, where internal resentment undermines the on-court product and collective bargaining power. This path is paved with more cryptic tweets, fan base infighting, and a toxic environment that could scare off the very family-friendly sponsors the league needs. The other path, the more difficult one, requires masterful leadership. It involves finding a way to channel this unprecedented attention into a unified front. It means creating marketing campaigns that celebrate all the league's stars, not just one. It means ensuring that the new revenue generated by Clark's presence is felt in the paychecks and opportunities of the veterans who built the foundation. Can a league turn this tension into a compelling multi-star drama that grows the pie for everyone? Or will it devolve into a petty squabble that turns off casual fans? This entire saga, it's about more than basketball, and it's more than just jealousy. The rise of Caitlin Clark is a masterclass in modern brand building, a real-time case study that will be analyzed in business and sports marketing classes for years to come. It exposes new unwritten rules of the game, rules where your social media engagement, your cultural relevance, and your raw ability to drive clicks and conversations can be just as powerful, if not more so, commercially, than a trophy case full of MVP awards. It's a harsh, disruptive new reality for many athletes who were raised in a system that trained them to believe that pure on-court performance, the points, the rebounds, the championships, was the sole and ultimate key to success and recognition. Clark is playing a different game entirely, one that operates on a parallel track to the sport itself. She's proving that in the 21st century, an athlete isn't just an employee of a team, they are a media company unto themselves. And their platform, their name, their image, their story, that's their most valuable product. She's redefined what it means to be a star, leveraging her transcendent talent, not just for points on the board, but for a level of influence and financial power that was once thought impossible in women's sports just a few short years ago. Ja Wilson's frustration, then, isn't merely petty envy, it's a symptom of this painful, chaotic, but ultimately inevitable transition from a purely sports-based economy to an attention-based economy. It's the sound of one paradigm crashing into another. We've seen glimpses of this before with figures like Arnold Palmer, who built a golf empire, or Michael Jordan, who became a global brand far beyond the basketball court. But what makes this moment distinct is the speed and scale at which it's happening, especially for a woman in a league still fighting for financial footing, and the stark contrast that creates between established traditional success and this new digital era fame. The game on the court, with its sweat, strategy, and sheer physicality, will always be the heart and soul of the sport. It's the indispensable product. But the battle for superstardom, for lasting legacy, and for generational wealth, it's now being fought on a much, much larger field. A field that includes social media algorithms, viral marketing campaigns, crossover endorsements, and the fickle nature of viral fame. This doesn't invalidate Wilson's championship. It simply highlights that the metrics for superstardom have been radically rewritten. The crucial question for the WNBA now is whether this transition will create a permanent divisive hierarchy or a more prosperous ecosystem for all. Can a league build a bridge between these two worlds? The model can't be to ask Caitlin Clark to be less successful, nor can it be to demand that veterans like Wilson simply mute their valid frustrations. The solution lies in structural adaptation. The league must become sophisticated enough to market its collective greatness, its Wilsons, its Stewarts, its Aguamike, with the same fervor that it rides the Clark wave. It must find ways to ensure that the new revenue and eyes she brings are invested back into promoting the incredible depth of talent that exists, turning casual Clark fans into lifelong WNBA fans who appreciate the entire league's artistry. For the veterans, this moment, while frustrating, is also a lesson in personal brand economics. It reveals that in today's world, performance is the price of entry, but personality, narrative, and strategic engagement are the keys to unlocking true financial magnitude.